Hey guys, how's it going, Companion? So it's Xmas Eve, and I finally get my power back. I finally get the water back, and get to stream a little bit. And I'm sure some of you guys are curious what's going down, why there's no Crip, why there's no stream for the last couple of days. So, I'm pretty tired. I've met my quota for going outside for the next 2 or 3 months. I mean, I'm probably not seeing the light of day until March. But all in all, it was okay. Definitely sucks not to do what you want, which is play video games all day. And instead, had my time filled with run around town, keeping busy, trying to make it work, trying to get the stream up, trying to get the YouTube videos up and all that. So I'm going to tell you guys about it. So, as you guys know, I was streaming one day and my power goes out, which happens every now and again. That's why I have a UPS. So I kept on streaming for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And then, decided to stop the stream, save the power, and see what's going on. So, that night, because it was 1 a.m., I actually couldn't really do anything. I couldn't really watch any movies at the theaters, which I usually do. And power goes down, among other alternatives that you guys probably heard about. So just went to sleep at 2 a.m., which is really a pain in the ass because, just coming from Berlin, Germany, my sleep schedule was already really screwed up. And, this really, really didn't help. I'm going to have to adjust once again because when the power's down, you can't really stay awake until 7 in the morning because 1, there's nothing to do. 2, even if you find something to do, there's hardly any light to do it in. So, went to sleep. Woke up the next day, see what was going on. Still no power, and went outside, checked it out. Was going to think about going to the movies, and what I found was everything outside was absolutely, encased in ice, and I mean everything. I mean, the trees looked like they had a bunch of flowers on them from a distance, and you get closer, and everything, and including all little twigs and branches of a tree has 1.5 inch. Block of, thickness block of ice on it. It's just, everything was ice. And it was really, really crazy. I was thinking of taking some pictures or something, but, I don't have a phone that does that. I have, a camera that does that, but it wasn't charged, and, well, that's a problem. But, basically, everything was frozen. It was crazy. I tapped, a tree branch, and it fell off the tree. So it was crazy brutal, and I'd imagine that's what really caused the blackout. I later learned that a lot of power lines got frozen and, just dropped, and this is a pretty big thing, as it turns out. Now, I've heard different estimates, but, 200 to 400, maybe even a little bit more than that, 1,000 people in Toronto still don't have power. I was very lucky because, they estimated that, everyone get power around the weekend, which is pretty nuts if you think about it, because it's that time of the year. But, I was pretty lucky because I lived pretty close to, pretty important public service area things, like a hospital, like a subway station, a few other things like that. So they probably, prioritized this area. That's why we're good to go. I'm going to start streaming again, going to start the YouTubes again, a little bit sooner than I had anticipated. And, after I checked out the situation that day, pretty much spent the day watching movies in a theater. I saw American Hustle, which was pretty good. I saw Anchorman 2, which was a little bit less good, but still pretty good. Then I saw The Hobbit and 3D IMAX, and oh man, all the jazz, and it was okay. It was a really great half a movie. So, I'll tell you guys how the movie ends up once I see the second half, which I'm hoping is going to come out pretty damn soon, because the first half ended at a pretty shitty time, in my opinion. So first day, just waste my time doing that. I ended up spending the night in my house here when it was pretty cold because, well, without power, there's no heat. And I later learned that they turned off the water as well. So spend the night. It was pretty cold. End up deciding to visit my my cousin's place. Now you guys get to see what I do with most of my time on interwebs, so there's no mystery to it. And I'm sure it doesn't come as a surprise that you know, I don't know that many people anymore. Yeah, I have some family, I have some friends, but, you know, all the ones that I do know were in the same situation as I was. And, you know, the only exception was my cousin, so I went over there. It was, most of the day was just going over there and, you know, checking up on a few things, you know, people were doing, charging all the stuff, setting it all up. And we had to run a few errands, and by the time I did all that, plus meeting some crazy ladies on the bus, you know, passed out. Wake up, internet's gone. They still had the power, but I guess the internet line goes on a telephone line, and they probably had some other issue as well. So basically, if you hear about, you know, some friends of yours from Toronto, you know, they're probably pretty shitty situation right now. I had planned to go north with my mom. My mom lives north of the city. She moved, you know, some months back. I was going to stay there for a while, try to, you know, get the streaming done from there. And, you know, before I was going to do that earlier today, I was going to come back home, you know, get some clothes, get it all set up, and, you know, get out there. So when I come home, I find out that the power's back, and find out that the water's back, and I could actually live here, and I could actually stream here. I'm so happy. Wouldn't believe. And basically, that's it. So back to schedule. Pretty good stuff. You know, I've taken breaks from gaming and all that stuff before. You know, there's travel, there's stuff that you got to do, but it really sucks when you know, you can't really connect, you can't really do anything except like go outside for like days. Good God, what a horrible thought. But yeah, we lived it. Very lucky to have the power back, and yeah, we'll get back to it. Definitely, electricity was the best Xmas present for me this year. And hope you guys didn't mind too much, but we're back. And I'll probably stream a little bit tonight, but you know, because my sleep schedule is again pretty screwed up, it may be challenging to really stream all the way. So we'll see, maybe a few days of adjustment, but we'll get it back on schedule. And finally, we'll actually see you guys tomorrow.